Good morning. So, are you protecting your peace? I want to talk about it for a second. I was thinking this morning about that, and I want to explain a couple things. A couple things I do. If you have noticed, sometimes, sorry, my ears. If you have noticed sometimes that you all of a sudden feel anxious and you're like, where did that come from? Why am I feeling, There's a couple of places that this happens. It's very subtle. Sometimes you're around people that you are not bubbling up to protect yourself. So when they're spewing all of their bitterness or envy or anger, or you're like, you leave and you're like, oh, why do I feel so anxious? That could be one. Sometimes you're watching too much news and you've got to shut it off. Sometimes it's social media and you've got to turn that off. So here's the thing. I spend a lot of time protecting my peace. And here's how that looks. One, I am very self-aware. I recognize when something feels off to me. And I assess things. Why do I feel anxious? And I'll backtrack. And I'll be like, is this bothering me? And it's like, no. Is this bothering me? And it's like, no. Okay. And I figure it out. Okay. So you've got to be self-aware. You've got to determine how you're feeling and address it, right? The other thing is I protect myself around people that I know are going to zap my energy like an energy vampire, right? So in my mind, if you've seen Galaxy Quest and you've heard me say this before, there's a part where a little jelly bubble comes up before he gets shot into space. Just watch it. It's such a good movie. And in my mind, I imagine that little bubble coming up over me and over my chest and over my head. And then I push the bubble out with my hands while they're talking. And everything they say bounces off the bubble. Okay. The other thing is that I know when I need to shut something off. When I need to take a nap, when I need to go get a special coffee, like when I'm listening or watching something that's making me angry. Sometimes you've got to block people and delete things off of your social media. I give you permission. It is the best thing that you can do sometimes. It says in the Bible not to argue with a fool. And when you're arguing with someone that only has hate, they don't care about anything else, even if you disagree on things. It's like they're like, listen, I'm going to burn your house down and murder your child to sit on this angry hill that I'm sitting on. It doesn't matter what the truth is because I have given myself over to doctrines of demons, right? Don't entertain those people. Don't argue with a fool. Delete, block, drive through. Thank you. Okay. It's not worth it. Your peace is important. Now listen, if you're a child of God, it says in the Bible, peace I leave you, not as the world leaves, but as I leave, that you might not be afraid. That means that in spite of your circumstances, God's already given you peace. It's already yours. You don't have to do something to conjure it up and figure it out. It's already yours. You are going to spend the same amount of energy either walking in faith or walking in fear. Fear is just faith in the wrong direction. So when you're feeling unpeaceful and unsettled, sit down, backtrack, determine where you're feeling unpeaceful about, and then give it to the Lord. And start reminding yourself of the things He says about you in the Bible and the truth. The truth is the truth that is the truth. There is no such thing as your truth and her truth and his truth. Truth, by definition, is not subjective. So go back to the truth. The truth is a person, and his name is Jesus. And go back to what He says about you, what He says about the Bible, what He says about your circumstances, and then let that go. And then take the next step forward. Just do the next right thing. All right, I got to go. I got groceries I got to put away. So I love you fiercely like a crazy person. I hope you have an amazing day. Go be good to one another. And don't forget that you are one of the one another's. Don't forget to be good to yourself. I love you. And I mean it, Peanut. Mwah.